the more structure and cover you can provide in your retrieve, the higher the chance that you'll trigger a strike. Hi everybody, I'm Justin from A-Man Bassing. In this video, I have a clip of me catching a bass in some shallow water on a long bank. I'm going to break this down, explain to you what I'm doing, why I'm fishing a certain way, which is it's different than most people I see fishing. And I'll explain my thinking here and why I do it this way and why I was able to land a bigger bass in this area. And the idea is to just hopefully help you out somehow. Maybe you're new to fishing, maybe you're struggling, maybe you're looking for new ways to fish, new concepts. So that's the intent. I'm going to break it down. Okay, and the idea essentially boils down to the fact that I fish parallel, meaning like here's the bank. I like to fish parallel, a long cast, and bring it back to my boat in a straight line, past as many strike zones as possible. And if you look at this bank, we have three major strike zones. We have the pontoon boat, the first laydown, and the second laydown, along with some other really good stuff. I mean, there's shadows in the background, there's pollen, there's lily pads back there. On those beds are bluegill. They're bluegill on there. So the food source, and then you've got some color change as we go to deeper water, and you have wind. There's just a lot going on. Interestingly, this bass, I saw it come out from deeper water. Right on this first lay down here in the middle, it was like lined up somewhere there, but it came out from deeper water and tracked my lure to this strike zone. And so I think one way to look at this is the more structure and cover you can provide in your retrieve, the higher the chance that you'll trigger a strike, for a couple of reasons. Right, like there may not, you can't assume that there are bass as much as you want to, and as good as it looks, you can't assume that there are bass inside those strike zones. All right. They may be in deeper water, which is where this bass came from. And so, but if I could, like in a perfect world, cast past this boat and bring it slowly, as slow as I can. This is a 6-inch swim bait that I fished as slow as I could, and bring it past each of these strike zones. Well, you might pick up a bass out here in the deeper water like I did. You're giving them, with a slow retrieve, a big swim bait, that makes noise. They see it. You give them a chance to track it. Now, with structure and hard surface, structure is important because bass most oftentimes track their bait to that structure, and then once the bait get in front of the structure, then they strike, because as they come to the structure, you're eliminating avenues of escape. So in other words, like bass recognize the structure, they see the bait in front of the structure, they know they can chase them into them, corner them, and then strike them there. And then not only that, they use the hard surface to eat their bait. They spit it out and eat it, spit it out and eat it. And they reposition their food, but they also clear out debris and pebbles and sand from the strike that they have in their mouth. And even if you think about it, like how many times have you, let's say you go to this, hypothetically, you're fishing a boat like this, a boat in a dock, and you throw your lure in there and you bring it back to your boat in deeper water, right? And you see a bass track it, but then it turns around. It's turning around because besides your boat, there's no real structure to trap your bait in, right? And pin it against and eat it. But if you're fishing parallel, you're giving the bass 3 opportunities of strike zones of hard surface to track your bait to. Another way to think about this is like the bass wants to track it to a structure zone and then strike it there. And by casting past this boat and slowly bringing it as slow as you can past these structure zones, these strike zones, potential strike zones, you're giving it 3 opportunities to recognize the strike zone, track it in front of that, and then initiate a strike. This, and if you watch this clip, you'll see right here, I have my lure in front of this timber. There's more timber in the water. And it came out from this strike zone, the second strike zone, like lined up with the strike zone from deeper water, chased it at an angle, and struck it right in front of that timber. Okay. If I had rolled up to like most people roll up and then they throw their lure in there, and then they, if they don't catch a bass, they move on, right? Yeah, if there are no bass in there, you're not going to catch them, and you might not even catch them even if there are bass in there. Not only that, you're not giving the bass behind you and under your boat, 200 feet away from you, a chance to see your lure and recognize a feeding opportunity. You want the bass to think it's succeeding at what it's supposed to do, and that's track your lure to structure, through cover, to structure, and strike it there. So the more structure and cover you can provide in a retrieve, the higher the likelihood you'll trigger a strike. That's what it boils down to. So, anyways, that's how I fish. And I ended up catching a bass where there were no bass, and it was a bigger bass. And most often, and you're not going to get a strike every time, And if that doesn't work, then you can go through and pitch it. Anyways, that's how I fish. I don't know, let me know what you think. If you think I'm crazy, or you think I'm dumb, or whatever. If it helped. Anyways, I hope you catch a big bass soon. Thanks.